listen to me. I'm gonna get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there. Y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
If this shit goes left, and I'm telling you, like we just gonna do it like this so you really understand. I never told anyone. I never called the police. Anybody else would have said, Puff Daddy told me he's gonna kill me in the park. I think his trust came from that. Like, if something happens, I'm gonna have to kill you. He wanted to let me know how it would happen. You will be in a dark park, and there will be no one around.
Shocking reactions after the explosive new Netflix docuseries Sean Combs' The Reckoning dropped. Since its release, the internet has erupted with disbelief. Hashtags like #TheReckoning and #CancelDiddy are dominating timelines. Celebrities are unfollowing him in silence, and former Bad Boy insiders are stepping out of the shadows with stories that many say confirm the darkest whispers that have haunted Diddy's empire for decades.
I didn't want to give it up. So he came into my office one day unexpected, him and Kenny Marsalis, they had it planned out. Kenny had a briefcase with all the stock certificates in it, and Diddy had the bat. Not like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you with the bat, but he had the bat like, man, we got to do this. This has to happen. I didn't feel I was gonna get beat down in that office, in all honesty. I got people that can jump out of the shadows in a minute. I wasn't threatened by him.
Viewers expected drama, but no one expected this level of darkness. The series doesn't just revisit Diddy's success story. It tears into the empire brick by brick, revealing disturbing allegations of manipulation, control, and violence. We're talking about a former assistant who claims her life was threatened, an explosive accusation about Biggie's funeral money, and even Diddy's own mother speaking out to defend her son.
When you're a leader in that way, it's admirable until you get to the point where you want to control everyone around you. He got to that point.
But the moment that left viewers' jaws on the floor came from a woman who once worked closest to him. Someone who says she stared into the mogul's eyes as he calmly told her, "If something happens, I'm gonna have to you." So what really went down? What's true? What's twisted? And what's just too wild to ignore?
If this shit goes left, and I'm telling you, like we just gonna do it like this so you really understand. I never told anyone. I never called the police. Anybody else would have said, Puff Daddy told me he's gonna kill me in the park.
Let's break down the chaos surrounding Netflix's most talked about docuseries of the year, Sean Combs' The Reckoning.
We're losing sight of the big picture, man. It's the middle of September and there's still no indictment.
Bro, then you have to have a spokesman. You have to have some sort of comms to constantly be pushing that, Mark.
The most jaw-dropping moment in the docuseries comes early, courtesy of Capricorn Clark, a former assistant who joined Diddy's team in 2004. At first, Clark thought she had landed a dream job, working for one of music's most influential icons. She expected long hours, tough schedules, and high standards. What she didn't expect was fear. In the documentary, Clark recalls a chilling night in Central Park. She says Diddy, accompanied by his head of security, asked her to take a ride. No context, no explanation. The mood shifted as the night deepened. What started as small talk took a dark, threatening turn. According to Clark, Diddy had discovered that she was personally connected to Suge Knight, the infamous Death Row Records founder, through her best friend, who happened to be the mother of Knight's children. That revelation, Clark claims, triggered Diddy's paranoia. She says Diddy looked at her and said, "I didn't know you had anything to do with Suge. Like, if something happens, I'm gonna have to kill you."
He says, hey, I didn't know you had anything to do with Suge. Like, if something happens, I'm gonna have to kill you. He wanted to let me know how it would happen. You will be in a dark park, and there will be no one around if this shit goes left. And I'm telling you, like, we just gonna do it like this so you really understand.
Clark remembers the words vividly, not screamed, not joked, but delivered calmly, like a warning from a man who wanted her to understand the stakes of loyalty. She didn't report it. She didn't tell a soul. I never called the police, she admits, saying silence seemed to earn Diddy's trust instead.
I never told anyone. I never called the police. Anybody else would have said, Puff Daddy told me he's gonna kill me in the park.
Despite the fear, she stayed, climbing the ranks and eventually becoming his global brand director in 2008. In hindsight, she describes Diddy as a master manipulator, very good at mental games. Clark's story isn't just a claim, it's a window into a culture of control that the series says defined life around Diddy. And just when audiences thought it couldn't get darker, another insider stepped forward with revelations about Diddy's business dealings and even the funeral of one of hip-hop's most beloved icons. Enter Kirk Burroughs, a former executive at Bad Boy Entertainment who worked side by side with Diddy during the label's golden years.
I feel his loss. I just miss him so much.
Sean doing a big show looks good on him. But he's not going to tell the world that Biggie was going to pay for
it. Burroughs' testimony in The Reckoning ignited another firestorm, this time over money, loyalty, and legacy. Burroughs claims that when the notorious B.I.G., real name Christopher Wallace, was murdered in 1997, Diddy wanted to make his funeral the biggest New York had ever seen, a grand televised send-off for a hip-hop legend. But according to Burroughs, when the price tag for such a massive event started to skyrocket, Diddy allegedly said the cost should come out of Biggie's estate. Burroughs recalls him saying, "We're gonna do the biggest funeral for Biggie that New York has ever seen. But Biggie's gonna have to pay for this funeral." Fans were stunned. Social media erupted. Some defended Diddy as a businessman. Others accused him of exploiting tragedy for image. The claim painted a picture of a man obsessed with optics, someone who wanted to look like the grieving brother of hip-hop, while quietly shifting the financial burden behind the scenes. But then Wayne Barrow, who helped manage Biggie's estate alongside his mother Valletta Wallace, came forward to dispute the story. He said no funds from Biggie's estate ever went toward the funeral, that Bad Boy Records covered the entire cost, and that Burroughs' version of events was completely false. Still, Burroughs' words linger. If true, they'd add another layer of manipulation to Diddy's already controversial image. And this isn't where the revelations stopped.
There's this allegation from the documentary that Diddy used Biggie's record label deal, or his own money, Biggie's own money, to pay for Biggie's funeral. So Wayne tells me that that is completely not true, that he himself officiated the funeral and planned it along with Kirk Burroughs, who is in the documentary, Bad Boy staff, and that Bad Boy paid for everything. At no point was there any indication that any royalty statement that this would be coming from Biggie's account. So the family never paid for anything in regards to the funeral. He said Bad Boy and Diddy covered everything.
Because the docuseries didn't just dig into Diddy's business dealings. It went straight to the heart of his family. One of the most shocking and emotionally charged moments in The Reckoning comes from another Burroughs claim, this time involving Diddy's own mother, Janice Combs. Burroughs alleges that back in 1991, shortly after the infamous City College stampede, a tragic charity event organized by a young Diddy that ended with 9 deaths. An argument between mother and son turned violent. He claims Diddy, distraught and angry after the tragedy, slapped his mother during an emotional confrontation at a hotel. The accusation immediately became one of the most controversial moments in the entire documentary.
But this the same guy that Kirk Burroughs once told me he slapped his mother. And I told everybody, had I known he slapped his mother after I told Kirk Burroughs, Kirk told me after I straightened his out for cussing his mama out.
But Janice Combs, now 83, didn't stay silent. She released a powerful statement through Deadline, calling the claim inaccurate and patently false. She said the documentary contained inaccuracies regarding my son's upbringing and family life, and accused the producers, especially 50 Cent, of trying to mislead viewers and further harm our reputation. Janice didn't hold back for him to use this tragedy and incorporate fake narratives to further his prior failed and current attempt to gain what was never his, Bad Boy Records, is wrong, outrageous, and past offensive. Her defense of her son only intensified the online debate. Was this an attempt to protect her child from media distortion, or part of a decades-long pattern of denial around his alleged behavior? Either way, it set the stage for the next bombshell. 50 Cent's response and his surprising explanation for why he got involved at all. As the controversy reached a boiling point, all eyes turned to Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, the executive producer behind The Reckoning. Given his long and messy history with Diddy, fans assumed this documentary was his ultimate revenge play. But 50 insists that's not the case. In an interview with GQ, he said the idea for the docuseries came from filmmaker Alexandria Stapleton, and that he joined not to attack Diddy, but to make sure the truth didn't get buried. If someone's not saying something, then you would assume everybody in hip-hop is okay with what's going on, he told GQ.
Do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip-hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or...
He claimed he purposely stayed out of the storytelling process, letting the filmmakers and witnesses tell their stories freely. There's no place for me, he explained. That's why you don't feel anybody's energy when watching. Despite his insistence, Diddy's legal team didn't buy it. Just days before the documentary premiered, they sent Netflix a cease and desist letter, calling the series a shameful hit piece and accusing 50 Cent of corporate retaliation. The feud between the two men, once hip-hop rivals, now courtroom enemies, has only added gasoline to the fire. And as the dust settles from these first 5 revelations, the internet continues to dig deeper, because the next wave of allegations involving Diddy's family, his past relationships, and explosive rumors about his children might be the most damaging yet. As the docuseries dominates social media and every major gossip site runs wild with speculation, one of the most personal and painful rumors yet has emerged. Former Bad Boy bodyguard Gene Deal, a man who's been vocal about Diddy for years, began circulating an outrageous claim online, suggesting that Justin Combs, Diddy's eldest son with fashion stylist Misa Hilton, might not actually be Diddy's biological child.
But I know the difference. I know that he wasn't, because they had a blood test. They had they did that with that paternity test and shit like that to prove that Justin was his son. Puff was mad the whole 9 yards because he had to pay Misa a large amount of child support.
The rumors spread like wildfire across blogs and YouTube commentary channels, feeding the frenzy around The Reckoning. But here's the truth. There's zero credible evidence to back it up. None. It's gossip, not fact. Still, the damage was done. As the whispers grew louder, Misa Hilton, known for her elegance, professionalism, and long-standing silence amid industry chaos, finally broke that silence with a deeply emotional Instagram post. Her words were raw. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a private person, and it pains me that I even have to post this. The harassment my son and I have been dealing with because of things implied by Gene Deal and stated in a recent documentary has been heartbreaking. The truth is, the public is being misled about me and my child. She continued, calling out the cruelty of dragging her son into something so ugly. We've been dragged into something we never asked for. A cruel game built on rumors and agendas. The saddest part is that this only hurts me and my son. We've been treated as casualties of war. The post, later deleted, struck a chord online. Fans flooded her comments with support, while others criticized how quickly social media accepted the gossip as truth. A person close to Misa reportedly told Media Takeout, "She's hurt. She's been through enough. Bringing her children into this is beyond disrespectful." Meanwhile, Justin Combs, usually active on social media, stayed silent, continuing to live quietly while the chaos spun around him. But as that rumor died down, another narrative began catching fire. This one about Diddy's late father and how the myths around his past were suddenly being rewritten. And while the drama spills online, even Diddy's father's past is being rewritten. For years, Sean Combs' public story has included one shadowy figure, his late father, Melvin Combs. Many documentaries, interviews, and internet theories painted Melvin as a Harlem drug lord connected to Kingpin Frank Lucas. It became part of the Diddy origin story, a tale of street roots, survival, and hustle.
Diddy's father, Pretty Melvin, was a successful drug dealer in Harlem who owned a cab company he would use to distribute his narcotics throughout the city.
But now, journalist Aaliyah S. King, a veteran writer who once investigated Melvin's life for Vibe magazine, is setting the record straight. And what she's saying completely flips the narrative. In a viral Facebook post, King revealed that the popular image of Melvin Combs as a major heroin trafficker is pure myth. Her 2010 investigation, which included interviews with over 30 people, from street figures to family members, found that Melvin was not a crime boss, but a stylish Harlem hairdresser known for his fashion, charisma, and nightlife. According to King, Melvin occasionally sold small amounts of drugs to fund his flashy lifestyle, but never operated anywhere near the level people now claim. Police records supported that, painting him as a low-level hustler, not a kingpin. Even Frank Lucas himself reportedly laughed off the idea, telling King, "Melvin? Working for me?" and dismissing it as ridiculous. King's frustration was clear in her post. "I've seen comments about his dad being a big-name drug dealer working under Frank Lucas. Seeing this misinformation is driving me nuts. Guys, you've got this Melvin Combs story all wrong." What's even stranger? King says her Vibe article titled "The Death of Diddy's Daddy" has mysteriously disappeared from the internet. Searches returned 0 results, almost as if the story was wiped. Now, with The Reckoning reigniting talk about Diddy's family history, King says she felt compelled to speak again. "I just want to wave my hand from the back of the classroom and say, guys, y'all got this Melvin Combs story all wrong. Whether this is coincidence or an attempt to reshape the narrative, fans can't stop asking the same question. If even his father's legacy is misunderstood, how much of Diddy's own myth has been manufactured? But whether the details are true or disputed, one thing's clear. Diddy's empire is unraveling. As Sean Combs' The Reckoning continues to dominate Netflix's top 10, the fallout across the entertainment world is massive. Within hours of its release, hashtags like The Reckoning, Diddy exposed, and Cancel Diddy began trending globally. Viewers described the series as disturbing, heartbreaking, and career-ending. The online reaction has been intense and divided. Some fans call it a long overdue reckoning for a man they say abused his power for decades.
The abuse of power. You know what I'm saying? That's really what he's guilty of. The abuse of power and the things he did while abusing that power. You know what I'm saying?
Others argue it's a media takedown built on stories too murky to prove. Industry insiders, however, aren't staying quiet. Several producers and former collaborators have reportedly unfollowed Diddy on social media. A silent but unmistakable move in the entertainment world. Some artists have even hinted that they won't be working with him again, with one anonymous producer telling Rolling Stone, "There's no coming back from this." People are terrified of being tied to him now. Meanwhile, think pieces and YouTube breakdowns are dissecting every frame of The Reckoning. Was Diddy a visionary genius who built an empire from nothing? Or a master manipulator who used charm and fear in equal measure? As one viral tweet put it, the saddest part is realizing how many people stayed silent, not because they didn't know, but because they were too scared to lose their place in his world. And yet, through all of this, the chaos, the headlines, the legal fallout, Sean Diddy Combs himself has remained completely silent. No statements, no interviews, no apologies. And through it all, silence from Diddy himself speaks volumes. For decades, Sean Diddy Combs represented the pinnacle of power, polish, and perfection. From chart-topping records to billion-dollar business moves, he built a legacy that defined an era of hip-hop. But The Reckoning has cracked that image wide open, revealing a darker, more complicated truth that fans can no longer ignore. Behind the music, behind the money, and behind the myth lies a portrait of a man accused of manipulation, fear, and control. Whether those claims are proven in court or debated online, one thing is undeniable. Diddy's legacy will never be the same again. The docuseries doesn't just ask who Diddy was. It forces viewers to ask who he really is, and how much of his empire was built on the pain of others. As the credits roll, one line seems to echo through the chaos. Every empire built on secrets eventually faces its reckoning. And for Sean Combs, that reckoning has just begun. What do you think? Is this a long overdue moment of accountability, or just another Hollywood hit piece? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video to support the channel, subscribe to Hollyhide TV for the latest updates, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Until next time, peace out.